My motherfucking way to this DS office because they fucking playing with my motherfucking food stamps. We hungry. We motherfucking hungry around this motherfucker. All I fucking know is this motherfucking DES office better not be motherfucking packed. Like, I'm so over this shit. My third time coming down here and still ain't got no fucking stamps. Oh my God. Let's see.
Walmart is not being very helpful today. I loaded my EBT card on the Walmart app, and I'm trying to order me some water and some potatoes for dinner tonight. And it keeps saying not EBT eligible. And I know it's eligible on EBT, or EBT eligible, because everything that I ordered was food. So what's the problem? So I call Walmart, and I say, check this, Walmart. Dig this, Walmart. I got nothing but food in there, in the cart. She said, let me take a look at your account. She took a look at my account. And she said, oh, yeah, it's nothing but food. Yeah, bitch, I just said that. So then next thing you know, she say, sign out and sign back in 15 minutes. So I signed out. And I signed back in. And it's still saying the same motherfucker.
Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem HaRachachodash, saying double honors to our apostles and elders. Very great millstone, peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So I watched this video and it just sparked my memory as of what happened recently, because you know the government was shut down for over a month, which I believe is back open again. Nevertheless, you know, with the shutdown, that forced people to either be laid off and or have to work with basically no paycheck. Now, you know, obviously you got brothers and sisters who was affected by it. You have brothers actually had to go to work with no paycheck, and they missed like what, 1 or 2 full paychecks. And then they're talking about some back pay, but according to the history in the past, that could take months, you know, just to get that little back pay. And you know how it is in this society, just about everybody is like one or 2 paychecks away from damn near homeless. Everybody in society is that close to being destitute, you can say. Or maybe that's, destitute, or, you know, with nothing. Because they already did that little survey where they figured out that in the case of an emergency, the average person in America, if they needed to come up with like $500, that over half the people couldn't come up with it. So, you know, we're in those straits. The squeeze is coming. But I believe it was coming into November, there was uncertainty as far as who was going to get their government, the EBT, and things of that nature. And, you know, a brother was like, I believe he was able to get it, or his wife was able to get it for the month. And he was happy for it, because he was like, because I believe, if I recall, it's like, yeah, I'm glad they did that, because now I can eat, or something like that. And I was like, hey, look, you got to watch that now. Okay, you got to watch that. So here it is, you know, the evil times are coming, and this man's the devil, right? Like, he's shaking up things on his own. He doesn't actually care about who's affected at all, you know, whatsoever. He's going to do what he wants. Trump, especially Trump, he's a big kid. Okay, he wants to be a dictator, and I'm going to show you that as well. He wants to be a big kid. You know, he did the shutdown the last time he was in office simply because he wanted things to go his way. These are the things that he do. He don't give a damn about us. He don't give a damn about the poor or the people that's affected. He don't care. Okay, they send billions of dollars to the Israelis to fund a genocide where their own people suffer. They won't get we're going to send X amount of money to Venezuela, but it was like, what about your own people? And he basically like, what about our own? I don't care about these people. So anything that he does, he's doing it simply for his own benefit, his own gain. He has interest in Venezuela because of the control that he has down there. It's not because they care. He cares. How does that precept go? One sec. Okay, Sirach 14, verse 5 says, He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Right? And Esau is like that. He literally poisons the air he has to breathe and the water he has to drink, all to inflict damage to other people. It says, there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. If he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Esau, Edom, if he does any good, he does it unwillingly, right? So what he's known for doing is giving out a handout, get people comfortable to it or used to it, and then take it away. Get the people dependent on it, have the people cry for it, and then when he restores it back, people saying, "Oh, thank God, thank Yahweh Yahushua." And it's like, okay, first of all, you got to watch that, because what I really mean by that is like, do not have that mentality, whereas you think that because of your situation, things should have to carry on the way they are simply because your situation. Don't do that. Okay, for a number of reasons. For one, because you got to remember, prophecy is coming to pass. And does not the prophecy say that evil times have to be brought forth? How can the evil times be brought forth if nothing can pop off, and the evil times, the prophecy can't be fulfilled because it's going to affect you? And if it's going to affect you, then it's like, well, hold on, Lord, can we pump the brakes? I need to be here first. I need to be that first. No, first of all, the Lord ain't stopping for nobody. The prophecy is what's written. He gave us the scoop. Okay, he gave us the greatest gift, which is the vision to see and to understand all that's going to happen, right? We don't know when it's going to happen, but we know it's going to happen. Like, he literally gave us the best advice. He gave us the greatest gift that we can have, which is one, faith, number one, as well as the counsel. Okay, because it's all about the counsel, the mentality of the mentality to have coming into the evil times, right? Because anxiety is a real thing. Anxiety is a real thing. This is what you see on the internet. Why do you think these people putting these type of videos on the internet? It's because they want to be heard. They have uncertainty. They don't know what to happen. They don't know what's going on. They want to be a part of a community, and they want they want comfort. They want somebody to lean upon. They want somebody to keep their minds at ease. And when their minds aren't at ease, they're gonna what? They're gonna lose it. That's why they're going to the internet crying out. You had the first woman there. She she mad, but what can she do? At the end of the day, she still has to go to the devil to beg. So anxiety is a real thing. A peace of mind, all of that, a mentality, a counsel. Okay, having control over your body, having control over yourself, your mental. That is huge, okay? That is extremely important, and the Lord gave it to us. He gave it to us. As I read just 2 Ezra 16, verse 40, he says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth." So we have the counsel to have. The average person in the world is not going to understand this. You do know that, right? They look at you and they look at your lifestyle as if it's strange. They say, "What's wrong with you? Why you ain't doing what everybody else is doing? Aren't you afraid? Aren't you worried about the future? No? Aren't you worried about hell, everybody else in the room is worried about their job. Why ain't you worried about your job? Okay? Ain't you worried about politics and all that?" This is how they look. This is how they're thinking. Because their mind, they don't understand what's written. They don't understand the prophecy. And they don't have that the gift to understand this is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It goes on, as we read several times. Let's read it again. Okay, it says, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that had no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. So do you understand how precious of a gift this is for him to give us the mentality to have in these evil times? That is the questions that everybody unconsciously is seeking. He's giving that to us. And what he told us is how to prepare for the battle. And it's all spiritual. You understand? He basically said in summary, go about your business, but be ready to move, to adjust to the evils that's coming. And meaning you also got to be ready to sacrifice. You also going to have to be ready to take some L's. You might have to be ready to be uncomfortable for a little bit. That's what's coming. It's not going to do you any good to sit up here and say within yourself, like, this is just whoever may think like that. And I understand it can happen because we at this point now. But to say, you know, like, okay, let's say like the government opening back up, so people going back to work. For now, you get your little goods, your little goodies, right? To say, okay, good, you know, I'm glad that happened because I need this, right? I need this. So here's the thing. That means you got to check yourself, because now you know what that means, right? That means you're reliant on the system. You're reliant on the devil, which a lot of our people are. Nevertheless, if you know that, first of all, this man's the devil. Okay, well, I said this. First of all, you know that the will of Yahweh Shai is, right? You understand what his will is, all right? And then two, understand this man's the devil. He didn't do that to help you. They was testing the waters. They wanted to see. That was just a test run, an experiment. Okay? They wanted to see just how much they can get our people to lose their minds. And more importantly, you might say, okay, good, so you can get your good governments for this month. What about next month? Are you going to also have that mentality? Well, no, you know, I kind of need this, so I need the Lord to allow this so that okay, what about the month after that? So the evil can never be brought because you don't want to be without, you personally. So what is it? It's Lord, you gotta pump the brakes, wait till I get to this point, and then you can, no, because the evil's still gonna come, whatever it is you think you're trying to be secure of. It's all in jeopardy. All of it is. All we're doing is maintaining until the evil is really brought forth. That's all we're doing. And if anything, it should be a serious wake-up call. Like the pandemic, that was a wake-up call for a lot of people, even for myself as well. I really saw, I was like, I was able to really examine, now I know what's really important. And we better be thankful, because you don't get too many of those, right? The next time, it ain't gonna be might not bounce back. Yeah, the government open back, but guess what? It's at risk of being shut down again in January or February. And does not the scripture says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them? So if you're in this truth, you gotta have the right mindset to say, okay, the Lord opened this, okay, good. So, you know, hey, I got the little benefit this month, but may not get it next month. Don't have the opposite mentality, which is really the mindset of these people, which is this need to continue so that I can do this or that, so that I could do that. You're in the wrong mentality. And you're setting yourself up for future hurt. I'm gonna keep going. It says, I jumped over, but this is 2 Ezra 7. To get to the point, verse 9, it says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass through the danger set before it, how shall he receive the inheritance? And I said, it is so, Lord. Then he said unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. Don't you see, the Lord is giving us really the answers to our questions. We ask him the same questions all the time, right? couldn't the Lord just do this? Couldn't the Lord just do that? He's telling us, you have to go through the evils to get through the good. Okay? And the faster we get through it, the better. Don't say, well, wait a minute now, because wait a minute now, I'm not prepared for this. Then that just means that you need to get prepared. And we're all talking mentally, spiritually anyway. Because look at these people. Look at these people. Look at how they're sweating, right? You understand why they're sweating. Because they have uncertainty. They dependent, they're praying and hoping that things could just continue because they don't have an answer. That's why they just go into the internet. They don't actually have an answer. You understand? Ecclesiastes, but you should have the answer. Okay? Ecclesiastes 7 and 10. Now, I'm not saying if you're thinking like this, you're wrong, you're in the wrong spirit. It's just a warning, okay? Because it's a matter of building up your faith, and these things have to happen for you to realize, to go through the realization. Like I said, the pandemic was a huge wake up for a lot of people, for all of us. Even Apostle Hart, he was like, this could be it. And then that was right there. It's like, yeah, you know what, this could be it. But since it passed, so to speak, you have a lot of people that just, I'm so glad that's over. But if you're in the truth, then you should realize, you say, okay, this is a wake up call. Because that's going to happen again. It's going to come again. All right. It was mercy of the Lord that we was able to use. He gave us that as like a test run, so to speak. Like a preparation, practice, a rehearsal, so to speak, for what's really about to come. So you got to seize that opportunity and don't let it go to waste. Hey, like the wicked, that's what they do. Never let a crisis go to waste, which they manufacture the crisis. We who are spiritually armed with the faith, we got to make sure we don't let those go. Okay, experience gain. Now we really know the deal. Now we know it's about to come back even worse because the prophecy says it. So now we should be more equipped spiritually and armed to say, yep, it's coming again. Ecclesiastes 7 and 10. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For thou doest not inquire wisely concerning this. Right? Because you got a lot of people who just reminisce in the old days. And so much so that they're hoping and praying that things just go back to the old days, which is not going back to those days. It's not happening. And the reason they say you don't inquire wisely, because if you understood prophecy, then you know that the evil times must happen first before we can get to the good. There's no sense in reminiscing on the 90s and the 80s, right? And say, man, I would love to go back to those days. But that's just prolonging the hell. And then scriptures tell you that we don't actually have that much left to go through. As 2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 44, then answered I and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, and if it be possible, and if I meet thee somewhere, show me then whether there be more to come than is past, or more past than it is to come. What is past I know, but what is forth to come I know not. And he said unto me, stand upon the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto you. So I stood and saw, and behold, an hot burning oven passed by before me. And it happened that when the flames was gone by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still. After this there passed before me a watery cloud, and sent down much rain with the storm. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained still. Then said he unto me, consider with thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke. But the drops and the smoke remain behind. So the quantity which is past did more exceed. So what he said was, there's actually, Ezra was approximately 500 years before Yahushua. So that's over 2,000 years. Okay. And he told Ezra, basically, he told him, because Ezra's at, is there's more to come than already passed? And he basically said that actually there's what had already passed was more than what's to come. So we actually don't have that much to go through yet. We don't have that much to go through yet. And it has to happen for us to get through the end. We can't get there if we're all sitting here hoping and praying that things just continue as it is, because basically we ain't equipped or spiritually, prepared for this or for that yet, because we comfortable. It can't happen because of, my job. It can't happen because I need that. First of all, you're relying on the government. You do realize if you're getting government assistance, if you're getting government aid, if you're getting government anything, count the days, count your days. You should already know this by now. If you're getting government anything, you better count your days, because the devil is going to come and take it away. We should all know this by now. If not now, especially now. If not then, shall I say, especially now more than ever. All right, this man is the devil. If you getting anything, and that includes your jobs too. All of our jobs is up in the air. Okay, like the brother Taziar from Kansas City camp, he did a lesson. He's like, we all gonna lose our jobs. I like that. I like that attitude, because it's just letting the people know, like, look, everybody's is walking around worried about this, worried about that. You better know we all eventually gonna lose it. It's gonna happen. So what? The evil times can't be brought forth because you don't want to be in jeopardy of losing anything? You don't know what you're involved in, because it's gonna happen. The best thing you could do is just be prepared. Tell the Lord, I tell the Lord, when there's things, I say, Lord, I would like to see the end of this, whether it is, like, if it's your will, pay this off, or, get this. I said, this is, my heart, this is a plan. And, if so be it. If not, so be it. I know you're the one that has, I basically said to the Lord, this is my little plan, but everything's in your hands. So here's what I'm seeking to do. And if it's your will, I can seek it. If it's not for me, then direct my paths. And if things pop off before this, so be it. Because we literally just read that in the scriptures. He basically said, go about your business, but be willing to lose it all, because the evil times is coming. So, because I can tell you right now, I get questioned all the day long about the reason why I do what I do. Which, in short, I just strive to live a simple life. Simple. If you're in this truth, man, in general, your life is, for the most part, is going to be just ordinary. That's why a lot of people don't have a problem with the scriptures, because it's in our heart to try to do or fulfill all of it is that we want to do. We all have potential. We all want to get to the next level, but because of prophecy, right, and the evil times to come, the scriptures require us basically to sacrifice, and not to seek the best of this or not to seek the best of that, but instead be content. Okay? And that's where there's conflict, because it's like, I don't want to hinder what it is that I want to do. If I want to see the world, travel, experience all this women and all that, and get all this money, then I want to do that. Then the scripture says, by all means, go ahead. But those of you who got the truth understanding, you should realize, no, first of all, that's vain. 2, what's required of the Lord is sacrifice. It's a part of this, So I get questioned all the time about living basically just like a basic, simple life. I don't expect them to understand. I understand. I got the scriptures as my reference. I'm just trying to live like, what the Lord said, not trying to do too much because of the evil times that can come, and, etc. Because he says, if I kept going on in 2 Ezra 16, verse 45, he says, Therefore they that labor in vain, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives, for in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy the merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, meaning the more they ignore the Lord. No, we're going to build, we're going to just deck the houses, let's throw the feasts, let's throw the marriage feasts, let's plan for these beautiful, long festival days that we got ahead of us. We ain't got to worry about nothing. He says, what? The more will I be angry with them for their sin, said the Lord Yahweh, because you're deliberately ignoring him. And it says you're doing it all in vain, because the strangers is coming to reap it and all of that. Okay. So why not take heed to the advice that he gives us ahead of time and say, live like a pilgrim, be ready to let go, be ready to lose, not try to hold on, not try to make a home, not try to establish your feet and say, look, this is my home. I'll be watching these, what was I was in some waiting room, and they always got this same channel playing, and it's just the little house about building your house or whatever, and they got these Edomites on there, and they're talking about how detailed they want their house, and you really see, because it's primarily women, of course, but you really see how invested they are in their houses. And before I want this area to be this, I want it to be perfect, and if people come over, I want this to be that, I want this to be that, and they decide on the color of the paint, and they decide on how big the room is, and they decide on this, and they decide on that, because they're thinking about the long future, they're thinking about kids, they're thinking about guests. They truly think their house is going to stand there forever. They're not thinking about a tornado, an earthquake, or anything that can come and uproot that like it's nothing. Like plenty of people have suffered, like in Jamaica. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking the future. You understand? They're the ones that's going to get caught off guard, because that's not going to be there. But that's the mentality. They want to have that investment, and this is our home, etc. Okay? If you in this truth, then you should know that a dwelling place is a dwelling place, because in the end, a tornado might get it, storm might get it, you might have to abandon it. You understand? Because the evil times is going to be brought forth. That shifts your mentality on how you look at things. It's like a tough pill to swallow. And like with women, it's a tough pill to swallow for men to accept the fact that this isn't the 60s. Your quality of woman that you ideally seek, that you've seen in the movies or you saw in your grandma and all that, is long gone. Okay. You have to literally pick from the trash. Okay. Tattoos, plastic surgery. What else? Then not virgins. Okay. Their minds have been plagued. They got feminism in them. You know what I mean? It's gone. The quality you have to pick from is not the same as before. It's a bitter pill. Most men to this day, even in the truth, won't find that hard to accept. You know what I'm saying? Got to, man. It's just the truth. All right. This is Isaiah 36, verse 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust him. Do not sit up here and be like, I'm glad that the devil opened the government back up, because I can continue doing what I've been doing. I can continue to pay for my food, all of that. Don't do that, because you know what he's going to do, right? When he comes back, he's going to show you, as we just read, if he do it good, he do it unwillingly, and in the end, he's going to show you his true intent. He's going to show you what he really wants. He wants to put you all in slavery. He wants to put a microchip in you. Okay? Because now he going to come back with the barriers. Now, for the EBT or whatever, you got to reapply. In December, you got to reapply. You know what that means? Sure, you get your little November stuff now, if you can get it. But guess what's going to happen in December? You got to reapply. Guess what that means? You can be denied. So you getting a little moment of victory. Oh, yes, I'm so glad I got my stance. Ooh, next month you might not get it at all moving forward. So you should have took that as because you might not. Well, then what am I supposed to do? This I need that. That's why we're supposed to lean upon Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. But if you over there praying, Lord, I pray that the government prolongs so that I can. That's it. First of all, that's counterproductive. That's counterproductive. It's just like teaching this truth, right? You got to count the cost, right? We all sit up here and realize what's at stake. Right? If I said, I don't want to speak, because the goal is for Satan to punish you for speaking against the society, right? Speaking against his kingdom, calling him out. I don't want to put anything that I have in possession on the line. So if I don't want to do that, then that means I'm really not going to say nothing then, because I'm at risk. So the safest option is just to not say nothing. That's what it is, because you thinking you could just teach this truth and play it safe at the same time. Okay, the Lord's going to require for you to understand what is involved in. And yes, you are on the line. You putting things at risk, but we still teach, right? And Yahweh Shem Yahshua has been taken care of. We don't let that stop us, because if we truly wanted to not risk anything and not put anything on the line, remain completely in the clear, we wouldn't pick up the plow at all. We would just let the world go as it's going, because I can't put it on the line, man. I can't do that, because I can put. That means I'm putting something on the line. Just to teach this truth is you putting something on the line. Now so how could we even get any further in this truth if we all just sat up here and said, like, no, we need to play it safe? So how can the evils ever be brought forth, which is going to affect us all, if we sit up here and praying, no, we can't let that happen, because then what am I going to do here? What am I going to do there? That's counterproductive, and your mindset is in a wrong mindset. Because first of all, the evils is coming. All right, you got guys who put down the plow. Guess what? Jacob's trouble still coming to their door. What did they escape? You ain't escaping nothing. It's gonna come. You might as well just do that which is right. So it says Donald Trump. Okay, it says unions are suing, because the title of the article is "Lawsuit Targets Trump's Political Loyalty Test for Federal Hires." Because you know what he did, right? Before he opened back up the government, he now requires everybody, you could say, like, to be screened. It says unions are suing the Trump administration over what they say is an attempt to swap out public servants with political loyalists across the federal workforce. Since the start of the government shutdown, which the administration has used to push out droves of federal employees, there have been over 1,700 job postings requiring applicants to submit essays on the personal significance of the president's executive orders and how they would implement those directives if hired, said the union leaders. They quote, forcing job applicants to answer politically motivated questions come straight from the Project 2025 playbook, which aims to replace dedicated, non-partisan public servants with workers chosen for their political loyalty rather than their qualifications or their oath to uphold the Constitution. So Trump is making it so where everybody, in a sense, has to pledge their allegiance to him just for you to continue to do what you've been doing, to continue to do your job or whatever. You see how the devil's getting down? I told you Trump's a big kid. He wants to be a dictator. So he wants to make sure that everybody is bowing to him. You can't be anti-Trump and still work for the government. That's what he's trying to do. So just because, you see how this devil's coming though, right? So when he tries to give back anything, there's going to be a barrier. Now there's a checkpoint. That's what's going to happen when he bring that chip. For you to been doing what you've been doing, there's a checkpoint now. For you to access that, you got to take this chip. For you to do this, you got to take this chip. And it's gonna come. And he's gonna come to hit all of the angles, man. But that's cool. I ain't got to worry about it because I'm retired. He's coming for that too. He already put in effect that those 401k, those people, they have to look into cryptocurrencies. Why? Because eventually they're going to switch to digital, and eventually there's going to be a requirement for you to get your monthly payment. He's coming for it all. He's coming for it all. And it's eventually going to come to us all. So what sense does it make to sit up here and just hope and pray that Esau, he could bring this, but just leave that alone because I've been using that? Or we could do this, but just hold on, wait a minute now. I need time to think because I need this now. Don't do that. Don't have that mentality. Okay? Just pray to the Lord for everything. Tell him your concern, and just go with it, man. Go with it. Adjust. That's all of us. That's all of us. You know, I've heard brothers say before at points like, yeah, I know the evil times are coming through. I just don't want to go through this. I'm cool going through this, but I just don't want to go through that. And I'm like, don't say that. Don't do that. Okay? Because you don't get to choose your trial. That's decided by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Lord, I'm okay with this. I just don't want to go through that. Don't do that, man. Everything's on the line. You don't draw the line nowhere. You just pray to the Lord. None of us want to go through it. None of us want to get locked up. None of us want to go through torture. None of us want to go through this. None of us want to witness our loved ones. None of that. You just pray to the Lord. I don't want to go through none of that. I don't want to see none of that. But it is what it is. You know, can you protect me? Protect me. Protect me. Don't draw the line, Lord. I just don't want to go through this one thing right here. Right here, Lord. I just one thing out of, bro. I say you putting yourself at risk, because first and foremost, Yahweh Shem Yahshua knows all of our hearts. He knows all of our fears. You cannot draw the line anywhere, even at your life. Lord, I go through it all. I just be beheaded, man. I don't know about that. What? You setting yourself up, man, because that's exactly what the Lord can have you go through. Like the brother said, man, what you're not willing to sacrifice will become the sacrifice. Your best attitude to go into it is the faith of Abraham. If you go into this and you strive for the faith of Abraham, that is the best prepared as you can possibly be. Okay? Why is that? Because he didn't put nothing on the line. And the fact that he wasn't willing to hold back even the closest thing to him, the Lord preserved that very same thing that he was willing to let go. And you know why he did it, or why he was about to do it, right? Because his faith told him, as if we read in Hebrews 11, by faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed and went out, not knowing whither he went. By faith he sojourned into the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs of him of the same promise. This may not be, it's a good, okay, no, 17. Okay, it says, by faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and that he had received the promise, offered up his only begotten son, of whom it is said, that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that Yahweh was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in the figure. So Abraham knew the Lord can raise him up. Why should I hold back? The Lord can raise him up. It's nothing. And the Lord preserved the very same thing he's willing to give up. That's the best attitude you can have. Strive to have and pray for the faith of Abraham, because in that case, that's the best preparation you can have, man. So I just thought that calls for kind of like an alarm, so to speak. When the devil does his little thing and government back up and everybody, oh, thank goodness, oh, And you in the truth, first of all, if you're getting government anything, count the days. Okay? You should know this. Anything that he's giving you is going to eventually come with a motherfucking, what do you call it? A catch. It's going to come with a catch eventually. Okay, do not sit up here and just hope and pray that things continue as they are so that your life won't be affected. You are setting yourself up for failure. First of all, that's counterproductive. Your mindset is in the wrong mindset. And you got to lean upon Yahweh Yahushua for everything. And don't also sit up here and try to, well, because here's the thing, you can never actually be 100% prepared for any situation, period. You can prepare yourself for the best, but you can't be 100% prepared for any situation. So don't pray to the Lord, or don't pray or hope that the little one areas that you're not comfortable with or whatever, that gets left alone. Let society continue as it is so that my little area here can be left alone. No. You are setting yourself up for a world of hurt. Your best attitude is to be prepared for it all. If there's anything you see that you lack, Lord, I need faith in this area right here. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about what to do if this happens. Can you give me the strength to go in it with faith of not knowing where it's gonna come from, not knowing where that's gonna come from? You have to do that. First Peter 5:7, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Okay. You don't think he knows the things we do every day, our responsibilities, what we have to, you just let him know. Lord, I pray you guide my footsteps. I know the evil times have to come, so be it. I need the faith to endure, to get through this, and have the instruction of what to do, how to do. That's why he's given us the scriptures of comfort, whereas other people going to lose their minds and play with anxiety, like these TikTok videos you've seen. Your mentality should be different, okay? Because moving forward, it's going to get even worse. Come January, you're going to just bring more squeeze, more requirements, more this, more that. It's just going to keep happening. Things ain't going to ever just go back to normal like what people had once. It's going to keep getting progressively worse, which is actually a good thing. So with that, I hope it was edifying, and I say shalom.